the depths of the ocean, where the sunlight begins to fade, lies a realm reserved for the daring and the curious. A world far from home, where every decision you make is critical. Here, correct information isn't just important, it's vital to your very survival. I'd like to introduce you to my new dive computer, the Shearwater Petrel 3. The Petrel 2 has been my primary dive computer since 2015, and I didn't just use it for rebreather dives. It was my daily driver while guiding divers twice a day, 5 days a week for years. Working on a boat every day is where you really start to go through dive gear in a hurry. I was going through wetsuits in months rather than years. I was wearing out the webbing and replacing it on my back plate frequently, and I was even blowing out fins every couple years. The only big issue I ever had with my Petrel 2 is one time I got distracted and forgot to finish tightening down the battery cap, and I flooded it, which was my fault. Even then, Shearwater fixed it for me free of charge. More on that later. When you're a technical diver, you learn not to trust any one piece of dive equipment. Of course, while I still practice redundancy with my instrumentation, the Shearwater Petrel 2 is the closest I've ever come to trusting a piece of dive gear. So you could say I was excited for the Petrel 3. However, I purchased this bad boy with my own money, so you're gonna get my honest opinion on the Petrel 3. The overall design of the Petrel hasn't changed too much since the original. Partway through the life of the Petrel 2, Shearwater added a titanium bezel around the screen. This carries over to the Petrel 3, but now the buttons are titanium as well. Internally, the battery O-rings have moved to a barrel seal design, so you no longer have to use the double tight method, and you can simply tighten the door until it's snug. The build quality is outstanding. Out of the box, I was extremely impressed with the overall fit and finish, and the machining looks impeccable. Resting inside the beautifully machined titanium bezel is a slab of aluminosilicate toughened glass, which of course makes me think of the transparent aluminum from Star Trek: The Voyage Home.
Transparent aluminum?
That's the ticket, laddie.
The Petrel 3 was built for serious divers. Make no mistake, this is an expedition-grade dive computer that's ready for anything. The Petrel 3 has all of the same great features from the Petrel 2, including some features that were brought over from the original Perdix, like air integration. Of course, you get all the stuff you would expect from a technical computer: support for mixed gas and CCR, a dive planning mode, support for multiple deco algorithms, and anything else the modern tech or CCR diver might need. Vibration motor alerts have been added, which I was really excited for. The vibration motor on the Petrel is considerably larger than the one in the Perdix 2 or the Peregrine, so it can be felt through thick wetsuits and dry suits. Obviously, you shouldn't rely on your computer to let you know when something needs your attention. You should always know your PO2, which means you should be checking your computer, but it's still nice to have. Additionally, you can set up vibration alarms for different events, like when you're about to go into deco. It's important to note that the vibration feature will not work with certain types of batteries. I plan to just use the Energizer lithium batteries that Shearwater recommends, as they're easily available in my area. The OLED screen is bigger, brighter, and higher contrast when compared to the Petrel 2. They've gone back to the green matrix text from the Predator for a green is good and red is bad type of color scheme, and I love it. The automatic brightness control is pretty slick too. It really is a great looking screen. There are also 2 custom positions on the screen that allow you to pack even more info into the home screen and keep you from needing to press buttons to see things like tank pressures and surface GF. I love being able to see my surface GF during deco without needing to move through the menu. If you're not familiar with Shearwater computers, the majority of them use piezo buttons, where pressure generates a voltage that indicates to the computer that a button has been pressed. So there's no mechanical button to become a failure point later on. One of the coolest new features of the Petrel 3 is the bailout rebreather mode, which allows the computer to follow the decompression schedule of the primary CCR while displaying the loop PO2 of the bailout rebreather it is connected to. There aren't too many dive computer manufacturers out there putting out CCR-capable computers with PPO2 monitoring. Shearwater, Ratio, DiveSoft, there really aren't a ton, and they all tend to hover around the same price point. But Shearwater tends to be on the upper end of that at $1270 for the standalone version and $1535 for the EXT version at the time of this recording. If my Petrel 3 lasts anywhere as long as my Petrel 2 has, then it's well worth the money. And I'm actually still running my Petrel 2 as my backup, as it absolutely refuses to die. Everything is top notch, and as far as I can tell, no corners were cut in the development of the Petrel 3. It's a premium product, over-designed and overbuilt for demanding divers. Unfortunately, as a tech diver, I need what I need, and it costs what it costs. It's just what it boils down to. In my experience as a Shearwater user and someone that has worked at a Shearwater dealer, Shearwater support is excellent. Shearwater computers come with a 2-year warranty. However, they've been known to extend warranty coverage in certain circumstances. I mentioned earlier that I flooded my computer through my own mistake. I was fully prepared to pay for a new module because it was my fault and the computer was also out of warranty. But they took care of me. They repaired my flooded computer free of charge, which would not have been cheap, likely close to the price of the original computer. You don't often see companies that take care of their customers like that these days, which is a shame. I also mentioned that Shearwater added a titanium bezel to the Petrel 2 several years after it was launched, but I didn't mention that they offered this as an upgrade to existing Petrel 2 owners. I was one of those Petrel 2 owners. The upgrade was technically free as it was included when I sent my computer in for maintenance, something I was going to do anyway. That's awesome. If you need a wrist computer that can monitor the PO2 in your breathing loop, then I highly recommend the Petrel 3. It isn't the only viable option out there, but it's my current favorite. I love that it's durable, and I love the user interface. It's intuitive, and that makes it quick to acquire the information I need at a glance and make adjustments quickly and accurately, which improves my overall safety underwater. If you don't need to monitor PO2 on a CCR directly, then your options open up a little bit. Basically, if you need your computer to be uncompromising, robust, full-featured, and easy to read regardless of form factor, go for the Petrel 3. If form factor is important to you, then look at the Perdix 2. You'll see the Petrel 3 in my future dives to come on this channel, and I'm excited to rack up some hours on this thing. I'd like to take a quick second to thank DiveVibe's supporters on Patreon. They make videos like this possible. I could not do it without you guys, so thank you. If you'd like to support DiveVibe and gain access to exclusive content, then follow the link to Patreon in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the water.